Nod or shake reviews. Willie nod or Willie shake. Yeah!
Hello. Welcome to Nod or Shake Reviews. I'm Johnny with Jim Bobby. Nod if it's good, shake if it's not so good. Either way, you should check it out because you might find your new favorite movie. Alrighty, on to the review. The Creator.
Unfortunately, no. Sorry. We tried.
So, for those counting, this is our 11th consecutive shake.
This is the most we've ever gone.
I think so. I love movies, so I don't want people to go, oh man, these people don't enjoy movies. I really do love movies. It's just there's been a dry spell the last couple weeks, I guess. Ultimately, the biggest absolute letdown of this movie was there was, to me, no chemistry with the main characters, which was really the integral part of the story. It's almost like they could have, again, I think if you have the chemistry, you can get away with a terrible story.
Maybe not a terrible story, but
you can get away with a bad story.
It could make a okay movie great.
Yeah.
Like when you have good chemistry and on their own, they both had very good things about them. I mean, you have Denzel 2.0. What's his name?
I don't know. I know it's Washington, at least.
All right, Mr. Washington, Denzel 2.0. And the girl, both on their own, had great things about them. Like the girl, the young girl in this film, did a very good job at conveying innocence, which is what you needed. But when you put the two together, Johnny, you can continue on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, way to trample on my review. It was basically the chemistry didn't hook me, so I didn't care about anything else, and I was just bored. I was bored. And I hate saying that when it comes to a movie. I don't think that's
when you're going to see a action sci-fi.
Yeah, I always feel unsatisfied with that as a review, but unfortunately that's the best I can come up with. I will say it looked very good. The way that it was filmed,
aesthetically very pleasing.
It looked very good. The robots were cool.
I wouldn't say that robots were always the most original. Some of them look like something out of like a newer school Star Wars flick, but But there were elements of the AI in general that were great.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, it's the best movie this month. Of all the shakes that we did, it's probably, I don't know. Again, I don't know if that means anything. Shake for me.
Okay, so it's a shake for me. I really went in, again, trying to love what I come out to see, and I can't. I didn't enjoy the flick. It had every element to it to be a great movie. When you get a composer like Hans Zimmer, I feel like you're working with good people. You got Denzel 2.0, you got the girl, you got all the great elements. And it was very boring, very repetitive. There were some elements of sci-fi that I loved. I like when a sci-fi movie does not so distant future stuff like District 9 did. Very, very, very cool stuff like that. Aesthetically pleasing. But the downfalls are just too big. I mean, the chemistry. This is about a story between a man and a girl, and they're on the road to survive, and you don't get that chemistry at all. And by the end, when they convey their love for each other, you don't feel it at all. And I feel like the actors had it in them. They just didn't do it. Yeah. And Hans Zimmer, definitely by far his most forgettable composer. I
was surprised it was Hans Zimmer.
Honestly, if you put a gun in my head and asked me, I wouldn't have been able to tell you that it was Hans Zimmer. And that's usually what Hans Zimmer is good at, is coming up with new and elaborate ways to change his sound so that you don't recognize him, but in a good way. Yeah, this was unrecognizable because it was unrecognizable Hans Zimmer. So, and it was forgettable and just not there half the time. I didn't like the movie. 1 and 2. I also didn't like the fact that the Americans were the bad guys. I think we need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot as a country. start telling more patriotic tales. That's all. But the woman who played the bad guy on the American side, phenomenal job. She played a very relatable villain, I think. Someone that you could relate to and see why you would be doing this, but also still a villain.
Well, it's especially now AI is
it's right on our doorstep.
Yeah, and it's
time to start getting scared.
Yeah.
I mean, it has got an IQ about 70, which is usually about the dumbest person on earth right now. It's got a little bit more than that. But AI will eventually become smarter than us, and that's when we're in trouble.
Skynet, people.
I don't think it's Skynet, but certainly something.
I think really the worst is I think it's going to take a lot of jobs away.
I'll be honest, and not to get into this debate, but what I loved about the movie was it was a story about the AI in a more practical sense.
Yeah.
Distant future, not just Skynet. I mean, there is a war raging, but what I liked about it was it talked about it being our natural evolution. Like we have now gotten to a state where we're no longer evolving because anytime we need something done, we make it so that we can have it do it for us. If we need something cut, we make a knife. So we're never going to evolve again. Yeah. So our most natural step is our brain, AI. We need to stop killing ourselves.
Alexa.
Wow.
Alexa, end this review, please.
Thanks for cringing.